Step into the world of Porridge, where laughter was abundant on screen, but the lives of its beloved cast members were marked by untold tragedies. In this compelling exploration, we delve into the poignant stories of the 26 actors who brought this iconic series to life, only to face their own heart-wrenching battles behind the scenes. From sudden losses to long-fought struggles, discover the haunting truths and emotional journeys that these stars endured. This is more than just a tribute. It's a deeply moving account of how the magic of television often concealed the personal sorrows of those who entertained millions. Join us as we unravel the fates of the Porridge cast, shedding light on the tragic end that befell them, and celebrate the legacy they left behind. Brian Wilde portrayed Mr. Barrowclough, a character who stood in stark contrast to the more authoritarian figures in the prison. Mr. Barrowclough was a prison officer with a gentle and sympathetic nature, often seen as too lenient by his colleagues. Unlike the harsh and confrontational Mr. McKay, Barrowclough believed in rehabilitation over punishment. His kind-hearted approach often made him the target of manipulation by the inmates, who took advantage of his good nature to secure more pleasant jobs, cells, or special privileges. Despite this, Barrowclough was well-liked by the prisoners, who saw him as a rare source of compassion in the otherwise harsh environment of Slade Prison. Barrowclough's character was further enriched by his personal life, which was occasionally hinted at throughout the series. He was depicted as a man who found more solace in his work than at home, often mentioning his overbearing wife. This added a layer of depth to his character, showing a man who, despite his gentle demeanor, was struggling with his own personal battles. Brian Wilde's portrayal of Mr. Barrowclough brought a unique blend of humor and pathos to the role, making him one of the most memorable characters in the series. Sadly, Brian Wilde passed away on March 20, 2008, at the age of 80. His death was the result of complications following a fall, from which he never fully recovered. Wilde's health had been in decline for some time, and he spent his final days in a nursing home, surrounded by family and friends. Sam Kelly portrayed Warren, a character who brought a unique blend of humor and pathos to the series. Warren, often referred to as Bunny, was an affable and high-spirited inmate at Slade Prison. Despite his cheerful demeanor, Warren struggled with dyslexia, which made him reliant on fellow prisoners to read his letters from home. This vulnerability added a layer of depth to his character, making him both endearing and relatable. Warren's interactions with Fletcher and Godbeer often highlighted his desire to learn and improve himself, despite the challenges he faced. His character's innocence and good-natured personality provided a stark contrast to the more hardened inmates, making him a beloved figure in the series. Sam Kelly's portrayal of Warren was marked by his ability to infuse the character with warmth and authenticity. Sadly, Sam Kelly passed away on June 14, 2014, at the age of 70 after a long illness. His final years were marked by a brave battle with cancer, during which he continued to work and remain active in the industry. Kelly's health began to decline in the early 2010s, leading to his eventual withdrawal from the stage production of Wicked due to ill health. Despite his struggles, he remained a beloved figure in the entertainment community, known for his kindness and professionalism. Kelly passed away peacefully in a nursing home in Esher, Surrey, surrounded by friends who had become his chosen family. Brian Glover portrayed Siral Shaps, a character who brought a unique blend of humor and simplicity to the series. Shaps was a dim-witted but lovable inmate, often providing comic relief with his naive and straightforward nature. He was one of the 3 new arrivals at Slade Prison, alongside Fletcher and Godbeer, and quickly became a memorable character due to his lack of intelligence and his endearing attempts to fit in. Shaps' most famous line, "I read a book once. Green, it was," perfectly encapsulated his character's simplicity and innocence. Brian Glover's portrayal of Shaps was marked by his ability to bring a sense of authenticity and warmth to the role. Sadly, Brian Glover passed away on July 24, 1997, at the age of 63 after a battle with a brain tumor. Glover's health began to decline in the mid-1990s, and he underwent surgery to remove the tumor. Despite initial signs of recovery, he suffered a relapse and his condition worsened. Glover spent his final days in a hospital in London, surrounded by his family. His passing was a significant loss to the acting community, but his performances continue to be cherished by fans. Ronnie Barker portrayed Norman Stanley Fletcher, a character who quickly became a fan favorite. Fletcher, often referred to simply as Fletch, was a habitual criminal with a sharp wit and a knack for getting into and out of trouble. His character was a former Teddy boy from North London's Muswell Hill, known for his cunning and resourcefulness. Fletch's charm lay in his ability to manipulate situations to his advantage, often outsmarting the prison authorities and fellow inmates alike. Despite his criminal background, he had a heart of gold and often acted as a father figure to younger inmates, offering them guidance and support. Ronnie Barker's portrayal of Fletch was nothing short of iconic. His comedic timing and ability to bring depth to the character made Fletch one of the most memorable figures in British television history. Tragically, Ronnie Barker passed away on October 3, 2005, at the age of 76 due to heart failure. His later years were marked by a long battle with heart problems, but he remained a beloved figure in the entertainment industry. Barker's death was a significant loss to the world of comedy, but his legacy lives on through his unforgettable performances. Peter Jeffrey portrayed Mr. Wainwright, a character who brought a new level of strictness and tension to the prison environment. Mr. Wainwright, often referred to as Napper Wainwright, was a replacement for Mr. McKay when he went on a promotion course. Wainwright was known for his harsh and uncompromising nature, making McKay seem lenient by comparison. He was a man who despised liberals, pinkos, long-haired hippies, and do-gooders, and he made no effort to hide his disdain. His interactions with the inmates were marked by a rapid, sharp manner, demanding respect and obedience at all times. Wainwright's presence in the prison was a source of dread for the inmates, particularly for Fletcher, who had crossed paths with him in a previous prison. Despite his harsh exterior, there were moments that hinted at a deeper complexity, suggesting that his strictness was a means of coping with the challenges of his job. Peter Jeffrey's portrayal of Mr. Wainwright was both commanding and chilling, bringing a sense of realism to the character's ruthless nature. Sadly, Peter Jeffrey passed away on December 25, 1999, at the age of 70 due to prostate cancer. His battle with cancer was a difficult one, marked by numerous treatments and hospital visits. Despite his illness, Jeffrey continued to work, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in London, where he was surrounded by family and friends who provided support and comfort during his illness. Siral Shaps played the role of Jackdaw in Porridge. Jackdaw was a character who added a touch of eccentricity and humor to the series. He was an elderly inmate known for his quirky behavior and odd habits, often providing comic relief with his peculiar antics. Jackdaw's interactions with the other inmates were marked by a sense of bemusement and curiosity, as his eccentric nature often made him the subject of both amusement and affection. Despite his oddities, there were moments that revealed his deep sense of wisdom and experience, suggesting that his eccentric behavior was a coping mechanism for the harsh realities of prison life. Siral Shaps's portrayal of Jackdaw brought a sense of authenticity and charm to the role. Sadly, Siral Shaps passed away on January 1, 2003, at the age of 79 due to complications from a fall. His health had been in decline for several years, and he spent his final days in a nursing home in London, where he received care and support from his family and friends. Despite his health challenges, Shaps remained a beloved figure in the acting community, known for his dedication to his craft and his ability to bring depth to even the most eccentric characters. Fulton McKay portrayed Mr. McKay, a character who was the epitome of strictness and discipline. Mr. McKay was the authoritarian prison officer, known for his rigid adherence to rules and his no-nonsense approach to managing the inmates at Slade Prison. His stern demeanor and brusque manner made him a formidable figure, often clashing with the more lenient Mr. Barrowclough and the cunning Norman Stanley Fletcher. Despite his tough exterior, there were moments that hinted at a more complex character, one who was deeply committed to his duty and believed in the importance of maintaining order and discipline. Fulton McKay's portrayal of Mr. McKay was both commanding and nuanced, bringing a sense of authenticity to the role. Sadly, Fulton McKay passed away on June 6, 1987, at the age of 64 due to stomach cancer. His battle with cancer was a difficult one, marked by numerous treatments and hospital visits. Despite his illness, McKay continued to work, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in London, where he was surrounded by family and friends who provided support and comfort during his illness. McKay's death was a significant loss to the acting community, but his legacy lives on through his memorable performances. Patricia Break played the role of Ingrid Fletcher, the daughter of Norman Stanley Fletcher. Ingrid was a strong-willed and independent young woman, often visiting her father in prison and providing a link to the outside world. Her character was known for her sharp wit and no-nonsense attitude, traits she clearly inherited from her father. Ingrid's interactions with Fletcher were often filled with warmth and humor, showcasing a deep bond between father and daughter despite the circumstances. Ingrid's character also appeared in the sequel series Going Straight, where she continued to support her father as he tried to adjust to life outside prison. Patricia Break's performance brought a sense of realism and relatability to Ingrid, making her a beloved character among fans of the show. Tragically, Patricia Break passed away on May 28, 2022, at the age of 79 after a long battle with cancer. Her illness had been a significant challenge, but she continued to work and remain active in the industry for as long as her health allowed. Break's final years were marked by her resilience and determination, qualities that were evident in her performances throughout her career. Ronald Lacy played the role of Harris in Porridge. Harris was a middle-aged teddy boy with a fish-like face and ginger hair, known for his sly manner and cowardice. Much like Horrible Ives, Harris was loathed by both warders and prisoners alike. He was a thief and a cheater, often bullying those he deemed weaker than himself. His character was marked by an insistently oleaginous manner, which irritated even the most easygoing inmates. Harris's interactions with Fletcher and the other prisoners were often filled with tension and animosity, as his lack of integrity and constant scheming made him a disliked figure within the prison. Ronald Lacy's portrayal of Harris was both memorable and impactful, bringing a sense of realism to the character's unlikable traits. Sadly, Ronald Lacy passed away on May 15, 1991, at the age of 55 due to liver failure caused by cirrhosis. Lacy's health had been in decline for several years, exacerbated by struggles with alcoholism. His final days were spent in a hospital in London, where he received care and support from his family. Despite his health challenges, Lacy continued to work and remained dedicated to his craft until the end. Richard Beckinsale played the role of Lenny Godbeer, a young and naive inmate who quickly became a fan favorite. Godbeer was a first-time offender, serving a sentence for burglary. His character was known for his innocence and optimism, often providing a stark contrast to the more hardened inmates. Godbeer's relationship with Fletcher was central to the series, with Fletcher taking on a mentor-like role, guiding and protecting the younger man. Their interactions were filled with humor and warmth, showcasing a deep bond that resonated with audiences. Tragically, Richard Beckinsale passed away on March 19, 1979, at the age of 31 due to a heart attack caused by a congenital defect. Beckinsale's death was sudden and unexpected, leaving his family, friends, and fans in shock. The day before his death, Beckinsale had attended a party and mentioned feeling unwell, but there were no significant signs of the impending tragedy. His final hours were spent at his home in Sunningdale, Berkshire, where he passed away in his sleep. Beckinsale's untimely death was a profound loss, cutting short a promising career and leaving a void in the hearts of those who knew and loved him. Maurice Denham played the role of Judge Raleigh in Porridge. Raleigh was an elderly judge who found himself on the other side of the law after being convicted of corruption. His character was introduced in the episode Poetic Justice, where he became a cellmate of Fletcher and Godbeer. Raleigh's presence in the prison was a source of shock and intrigue, particularly for Fletcher, who had been sentenced by Raleigh himself. Despite his fall from grace, Raleigh maintained a sense of dignity and decorum, often reflecting on his past with a mix of regret and resignation. His interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were marked by a sense of mutual respect, as they navigated the complexities of prison life together. Maurice Denham's portrayal of Judge Raleigh brought a sense of gravitas to the role, making the character a memorable addition to the series. Sadly, Maurice Denham passed away on July 24, 2002, at the age of 92. His later years were marked by a battle with Alzheimer's disease, which gradually affected his memory and cognitive abilities. Despite his health challenges, Denham remained active in the industry for as long as he could, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in a care home in London, where he received support and comfort from his family and friends. Rosalind Elliot played the role of Elaine in Porridge. Elaine was a minor character, but her presence added a touch of warmth and humanity to the show. She was known for her kind-hearted nature and her ability to connect with the inmates on a personal level. Elaine's character was a breath of fresh air in the often harsh environment of Slade Prison, providing moments of compassion and understanding off-screen. Rosalind Elliot was a talented actress with a strong screen presence. She brought a sense of authenticity to her roles, making even the smallest characters memorable. Sadly, Rosalind Elliot passed away on April 10, 2020, at the age of 76. Her death was a result of complications related to a long-term illness. Despite her health struggles, she continued to work and remained dedicated to her craft until the end. Elliot's contributions to Porridge and the entertainment industry as a whole are fondly remembered by fans and colleagues alike. Ken Jones played the role of Ives, often referred to as Horrible Ives, in Porridge. Ives was a small-time fraudster, known for his sneaky and conniving behavior. His character was often loathed by both prisoners and wardens alike, making him a somewhat isolated figure within the prison. Ives had a knack for getting under the skin of those around him, frequently starting conversations with his signature phrase, "Listen." Despite his unlikable traits, Ives added a layer of complexity to the prison dynamics, often serving as a foil to the more likable characters like Fletcher and Godbeer. Ken Jones's portrayal of Ives was both memorable and impactful, bringing a sense of realism to the character's scheming nature. Sadly, Ken Jones passed away on February 13, 2014, at the age of 83 due to complications from bowel cancer. His final years were spent in a nursing home in Prescott, Merseyside, where he received care and support from his family and friends. Jones's health had been in decline for several years, and he faced his illness with courage and dignity. Despite his struggles, he remained a beloved figure in the acting community, known for his dedication to his craft and his ability to bring depth to even the most unlikable characters. Paul Angelis portrayed Navy Rum, a character who added a touch of ruggedness and humor to the series. Navy Rum was a tattooed former seafarer, known for his gruff demeanor and colorful stories of life at sea. His character was often seen as a bit of an outsider, with a rough exterior that masked a softer, more vulnerable side. Navy Rum's interactions with the other inmates were marked by his unique perspective on life, often providing comic relief with his salty language and seafaring anecdotes. Despite his tough facade, there were moments that revealed his deep sense of loyalty and camaraderie with his fellow prisoners. Paul Angelis's portrayal of Navy Rum brought a sense of authenticity and charm to the role. Sadly, Paul Angelis passed away on March 19, 2009, at the age of 66 due to a heart attack. His later years were marked by a battle with heart disease, which gradually affected his health. Despite his struggles, Angelis remained active in the industry, continuing to work and bring his unique talents to various roles. His final days were spent in London, where he was surrounded by family and friends who provided support and comfort during his illness. Peter Vaughan played the role of Harry Grout, often referred to as Grouty, in Porridge. Grouty was a notorious and feared inmate, known for his menacing presence and his control over the prison's black market. Despite appearing in only a few episodes, Grouty left a lasting impression as the prison's resident kingpin, orchestrating various schemes and maintaining a network of loyal followers. His character was the epitome of power and intimidation, often using his influence to manipulate both inmates and prison staff. Peter Vaughan's portrayal of Harry Grout was both commanding and chilling, bringing a sense of realism to the character's ruthless nature. Sadly, Peter Vaughan passed away on December 6, 2016, at the age of 93. Vaughan's health had been in decline for several years, and he passed away peacefully at his home in West Sussex, surrounded by his family. His long and illustrious career spanned over 7 decades, and he remained active in the industry well into his later years. Vaughan's passing marked the end of an era, but his performances, particularly as Grouty, continue to be remembered and celebrated. June Ellis played the role of Isabel Fletcher in Porridge. Isabel was the estranged wife of Norman Stanley Fletcher, and her character added a layer of personal drama and emotional depth to the series. Isabel's interactions with Fletcher were often filled with tension and unresolved issues, reflecting the complexities of their relationship. Despite their separation, there were moments of genuine affection and concern, suggesting that their bond, though strained, was still significant. Isabel's visits to the prison provided a glimpse into Fletcher's life outside the walls of Slade Prison, adding a sense of realism and relatability to his character. June Ellis's portrayal of Isabel Fletcher brought a sense of authenticity and emotional depth to the role. Sadly, June Ellis passed away on June 26, 2011, at the age of 85 due to complications from a long-term illness. Her health had been in decline for several years, and she spent her final days in a hospital in London, where she received care and support from her family and friends. Despite her health challenges, Ellis remained dedicated to her craft, continuing to work and bring her unique talents to various roles. Paul McDowell portrayed Mr. Collinson, a character who added a layer of complexity to the prison staff at Slade Prison. Mr. Collinson was a sour-faced prison officer, known for his strict adherence to rules and his often grumpy demeanor. Unlike the more lenient Mr. Barrowclough, Collinson had little patience for the inmates' antics and was quick to enforce discipline. His interactions with the prisoners were marked by a no-nonsense attitude, and he was often seen as a figure of authority who was not easily swayed by Fletcher's charm or cunning. Despite his stern exterior, there were moments that hinted at a deeper, more nuanced character, suggesting that his tough demeanor was a facade to cope with the challenges of working in a prison environment. Paul McDowell's portrayal of Mr. Collinson brought a sense of realism to the role, making the character a believable and integral part of the prison staff. Sadly, Paul McDowell passed away on May 2, 2016, at the age of 84. His later years were marked by a battle with Parkinson's disease, which gradually affected his mobility and speech. Despite his health challenges, McDowell remained active in the industry for as long as he could, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in a care home in London, where he received support and comfort from his family and friends. Eric Dodson played the role of Mr. Banyard in Porridge. Mr. Banyard was a prison officer who, unlike the more prominent characters like McKay and Barrowclough, had a more subdued presence. He was known for his methodical and by-the-book approach to his duties, ensuring that the prison ran smoothly and efficiently. Banyard's interactions with the inmates were professional and detached, maintaining a clear boundary between authority and the prisoners. Despite his less prominent role, Banyard's character added to the overall dynamic of the prison staff, providing a sense of order and stability. Eric Dodson's portrayal of Mr. Banyard brought a sense of authenticity to the role, making the character a believable and integral part of the prison staff. Sadly, Eric Dodson passed away on January 13, 2000, at the age of 79 due to complications from a stroke. His health had been in decline for several years, and he spent his final days in a nursing home in London, where he received care and support from his family and friends. Despite his health challenges, Dodson remained a beloved figure in the acting community, known for his dedication to his craft and his ability to bring depth to even the most understated characters. Dudley Sutton played the role of Reg Irwin in Porridge. Reg Irwin was a character who brought a unique blend of humor and tension to the series. Irwin was a hostage-taker, introduced in the special Christmas episode, The Desperate Hours. His character was marked by a sense of desperation and unpredictability, making him a formidable presence in the prison. Irwin's interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were filled with tension and dark humor, as he navigated the complexities of his situation. Despite his criminal actions, there were moments that hinted at a deeper, more tragic backstory, suggesting that his actions were driven by a sense of loss and hopelessness. Dudley Sutton's portrayal of Reg Irwin was both memorable and impactful, bringing a sense of realism to the character's desperate nature. Sadly, Dudley Sutton passed away on September 15, 2018, at the age of 85 due to cancer. His battle with cancer was a long and arduous one, marked by numerous treatments and hospital visits. Despite his illness, Sutton continued to work, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in a hospice in London, where he received care and support from his family and friends. Margaret Flint played the role of Mrs. Godbeer in Porridge. Mrs. Godbeer was the mother of Lenny Godbeer, one of the main characters in the series. Her character was known for her warmth and maternal care, often visiting her son in prison and providing a link to the outside world. Mrs. Godbeer's interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were marked by a sense of kindness and concern, as she navigated the challenges of having a son in prison. Despite the difficult circumstances, she remained a pillar of support for Lenny, offering him encouragement and hope. Margaret Flint's portrayal of Mrs. Godbeer brought a sense of authenticity and warmth to the role. Sadly, Margaret Flint passed away on July 3, 1993, at the age of 68 due to complications from a long-term illness. Her health had been in decline for several years, and she spent her final days in a hospital in London, where she received care and support from her family and friends. Despite her health challenges, Flint remained dedicated to her craft, continuing to work and bring her unique talents to various roles. John Bennett portrayed the medical officer, a character who brought a touch of clinical detachment and dry humor to the series. The medical officer was responsible for the health and well-being of the inmates at Slade Prison, often conducting medical examinations and dealing with the various ailments and complaints of the prisoners. His interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were marked by a no-nonsense attitude and a sharp wit, often cutting through Fletcher's attempts to manipulate the situation to his advantage. Despite his professional demeanor, there were moments that hinted at a more compassionate side, suggesting that he genuinely cared about the well-being of the inmates under his care. John Bennett's portrayal of the medical officer was both authoritative and engaging, bringing a sense of realism to the role. Sadly, John Bennett passed away on April 11, 2005, at the age of 76 due to complications from a stroke. His later years were marked by a decline in health, and he spent his final days in a nursing home in London, surrounded by family and friends who provided support and comfort during his illness. Jane Wenham played the role of Mrs. Jameson in Porridge. Mrs. Jameson was the governor's secretary, a character who brought a touch of sophistication and intrigue to the series. Her interactions with the inmates and prison staff were marked by a sense of professionalism and discretion. Mrs. Jameson's character was involved in a memorable storyline where she was taken hostage during a prison riot, revealing her resilience and composure under pressure. Despite the challenges of working in such a volatile environment, she maintained a sense of grace and dignity, making her a respected figure within the prison. Jane Wenham's portrayal of Mrs. Jameson brought a sense of authenticity and depth to the role. Sadly, Jane Wenham passed away on November 15, 2018, at the age of 90 due to complications from cancer. Her later years were marked by a battle with the disease, which she faced with remarkable courage and determination. Wenham spent her final days in a hospice in London, where she received care and support from her family and friends. Philip Maddox played the role of Williams in Porridge. Williams was a character who brought a sense of tension and intrigue to the series. He was a Welsh inmate known for his intelligence and cunning, often using his sharp mind to navigate the complexities of prison life. Williams's interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were marked by a mix of respect and rivalry, as his intellectual prowess often put him at odds with the more straightforward characters. Despite his manipulative tendencies, there were moments that hinted at a deeper, more complex character, suggesting that his actions were driven by a desire to survive in the harsh environment of Slade Prison. Philip Maddox's portrayal of Williams was both commanding and nuanced, bringing a sense of realism to the character's cunning nature. Sadly, Philip Maddox passed away on March 5, 2012, at the age of 77 due to complications from cancer. His battle with cancer was a difficult one, marked by numerous treatments and hospital visits. Despite his illness, Maddox continued to work, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to his craft. His final days were spent in a hospice in London, where he received care and support from his family and friends. John Rudling portrayed Mr. Birchwood, a character who added a touch of elderly wisdom and gentle humor to the series. Mr. Birchwood was an older inmate, known for his calm demeanor and his ability to offer sage advice to the younger prisoners. His character often served as a voice of reason amidst the chaos of prison life, providing a sense of stability and perspective. Despite his advanced age, Birchwood's interactions with Fletcher and the other inmates were marked by a sense of mutual respect and camaraderie. His presence in the series highlighted the diverse backgrounds and experiences of the prison population, adding depth to the show's portrayal of life behind bars. John Rudling's portrayal of Mr. Birchwood brought a sense of authenticity and warmth to the role. Sadly, John Rudling passed away on December 18, 1983, at the age of 76 due to respiratory complications. His later years were marked by a decline in health, and he spent his final days in a nursing home in London, surrounded by family and friends who provided support and comfort during his illness. Ken Wynne played the role of Keegan in Porridge. Keegan was a minor character, but his presence added to the overall dynamic of the prison environment. He was known for his tough demeanor and his interactions with the other inmates, often providing a sense of tension and conflict. Keegan's character was marked by a sense of resilience and determination as he navigated the complexities of prison life. Ken Wynne's portrayal of Keegan brought a sense of realism and depth to the role. Sadly, Ken Wynne passed away on June 18, 2012, at the age of 92 due to complications from pneumonia. His later years were marked by a decline in health, and he spent his final days in a nursing home in London, where he received care and support from his family and friends. Despite his health challenges, Wynne remained a beloved figure in the acting community, known for his dedication to his craft and his ability to bring depth to even the... Susan Littler played the role of Norma in Porridge. Norma was a character who added a touch of youthful energy and charm to the series. She was known for her vibrant personality and her interactions with the inmates, often providing a sense of lightheartedness and humor. Norma's character was involved in various storylines that highlighted her resourcefulness and quick wit, making her a beloved figure among the prisoners. Despite the challenges of prison life, she maintained a positive outlook and a sense of optimism, which endeared her to both the inmates and the audience. Susan Littler's portrayal of Norma brought a sense of authenticity and warmth to the role. Sadly, Susan Littler passed away on July 11, 1982, at the age of 34 due to ovarian cancer. Her battle with cancer was a difficult one, marked by numerous treatments and hospital visits. Despite her illness, Littler continued to work, demonstrating remarkable resilience and dedication to her craft. Her final days were spent in a hospital in London, where she received care and support from her family and friends. What do you think about the deaths of the actors in Porridge, and who do you miss the most among them? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to see the latest videos.